I spent 4 months in a relationship believing I was dating the man I loved, only to find out I had been dating his estranged, manipulative, identical twin brother the entire time. This wasn't a joke. It was a carefully orchestrated scheme of identity fraud and emotional manipulation designed to ruin my life and steal my boyfriend's job. This story is so twisted, I still question my own sanity. I had been dating Liam for about a year. He was funny, kind, and a software engineer with a great future. About 4 months ago, Liam suddenly changed. He became colder, secretive with his phone, and developed intense mood swings, but I excused it all as stress from his new project at work. However, the changes were specific. He started ordering foods he hated, he stopped using his favorite cologne, and he developed a subtle verbal tic that I had never heard before, but when I asked him about it, he just dismissed me angrily. One night, a package arrived at our apartment that wasn't addressed to either of us. It was a large, ornate box from a high-end watch company, addressed simply to Daniel. When I asked Liam about it, he just stared at the box with pure, unfiltered terror and insisted I put it in the garage immediately. I knew Daniel was his estranged twin brother, a volatile, manipulative person who Liam had cut off completely 10 years ago due to a serious incident involving theft. Liam absolutely refused to talk about Daniel and had explicitly warned me never to search for him. The next week, Liam received a massive promotion at his firm. He seemed oddly detached from the achievement, and when I looked up his job title, I realized Daniel had the exact same specialized skill set. A week after that, I was going through the garage, and I noticed the Daniel watch box had been opened. Inside the ornate box, there wasn't a watch. There was a cheap, second-hand digital voice recorder. Driven by a horrible premonition, I played the recording. It was a detailed, chilling log of Liam's daily life, his habits, his work passwords, and a sinister voice, not Liam's, saying, "She suspects nothing. The role is mine." The voice on the recorder was clearly Daniel's, documenting his identity theft. The log detailed how he had been impersonating Liam for almost 4 months. The mood swings, the food changes, the subtle tic. It was all Daniel perfecting his role. The promotion at work was actually his promotion, earned while pretending to be Liam. Daniel was methodically dismantling Liam's life piece by piece. I immediately called Liam's best friend, Mark, and explained the shocking audio log and the strange changes in Liam. Mark was skeptical until I played the recording of Daniel talking about the role. Mark confessed that Liam had suddenly taken a 4-month solo trip to clear his head, which Mark thought was weird but believed was true. This meant the real Liam had been gone for 4 months, the exact time the personality changes started. When the man I thought was Liam came home that night, I didn't greet him. I stood in the living room and played the recording of Daniel saying, "The role is mine." Daniel's composure shattered. He went from calm denial to pure panic. He admitted everything. Daniel confessed that he had ambushed Liam 4 months ago, locked him in a remote prepaid cabin, and taken his place. His goal was not just to steal Liam's money, but to steal his entire life, including his job and his girlfriend, me. Daniel's motive was a deep, twisted resentment over Liam's success. He confessed to observing me meticulously, tracking my preferences, and even performing intimate acts while pretending to be Liam. This psychological violation felt worse than any physical assault. I called the police immediately, and Daniel was arrested for identity fraud, kidnapping, and impersonation. The police used Daniel's confession to locate the remote cabin where Liam was being held. Liam was found alive but psychologically devastated and physically weak. He had been completely isolated, believing his friends and family had simply stopped looking for him. The reunion was complicated. Liam was relieved, but also traumatized and heartbroken that someone who looked exactly like him had been living his life, sleeping in his bed and working his job. The twin swap had created a massive emotional and logistical mess. Liam had to prove to his company that he was the real employee, a process complicated by Daniel's superior work on the project that earned the promotion. He also had to deal with the sickening realization that his twin brother had violated every aspect of his private life, including the intimacy we had shared. I also struggled immensely. Every memory from the last 4 months was tainted, and I couldn't look at Liam without seeing the face of his manipulative twin. I became hyper-vigilant, analyzing every gesture and every word, terrified I was being tricked again. My relationship with Liam was on the brink of collapse, strained by the trauma and the massive trust issues created by Daniel's deception. We immediately entered couples therapy to try and undo the psychological damage the twin swap had caused. The legal case against Daniel was complex but strong, given the physical evidence and the proof of the kidnapping. Daniel claimed mental instability and pathological jealousy, but the premeditation of his scheme, renting the remote cabin, buying the recorder, meticulous study of Liam's habits, indicated calculated criminal intent. My lawyer advised Liam that he needed a restraining order and a complete severing of all ties, not just for his safety, but for his psychological recovery. The recovery process has been exhausting. Liam struggles with trust, constantly feeling the need to prove he is himself, even to me. He lost the promotion because the company couldn't untangle who deserved the credit for the work, and the legal battle forced him to take an unpaid leave of absence. For me, the trauma manifests as extreme paranoia. I compulsively check Liam's phone and question his every action, even when I know he is innocent. It feels impossible to rebuild intimacy when the last 4 months of our physical and emotional connection were a calculated lie by a criminal imposter. The police found several other hidden recorders Daniel had planted around the apartment, capturing conversations that were later used in court, which made the violation feel even deeper. The financial and career damage to Liam is severe, but the emotional and psychological damage to both of us may be irreparable. We learned in court that Daniel's elaborate scheme was fueled by a lifetime of professional and personal jealousy towards Liam. The identity swap wasn't a sudden impulse. It was a long-planned attempt to permanently erase Liam and take over his superior life. The judge ordered a psychiatric evaluation for Daniel, but the criminal charges are proceeding. Now, Liam and I are faced with the impossible question of whether our original relationship can survive this trauma. We love each other, but the foundation of trust is completely compromised. How do you ever look at the man you love and be absolutely sure he is who he says he is when his own identical twin went to such extreme criminal lengths to impersonate him? We decided to move to a new city, hoping a fresh start and complete physical distance from Daniel could help us rebuild. The emotional exhaustion of constantly battling the ghosts of Daniel's actions is relentless. We are fighting to save our love, but the sinister shadow of the evil twin remains a constant paralyzing threat. So what do you think? If you discovered your partner was an imposter for months, could you ever truly trust the real one again, or is the relationship doomed by the psychological damage? If this unbelievable story shocked you, hit that like button, subscribe for more drama, and I'll see you in the next one.